1.5 years ago, I was at the lowest point in my entire life because I was basically tired all the time. I was exhausted, no drive, no motivation to do anything. I was also dealing with anxiety, constantly overthinking everything in my head, dealing with depression here and there too, feeling low most of the time. And besides that, I was starting to gain body fat too. My physique started getting shit, my face was so bloated, I was ugly, unattractive. Besides that, I would eat, and after 2 hours I would still be hungry again. I had this uncontrollable hunger, these cravings. I would go very often to the bathroom to pee too. I was drinking so much water, but I was still feeling thirsty. And I didn't know what was wrong with me because I had all these problems, and the worst of everything was the fact that I even lost my morning wood. At 18 years old, I lost my morning wood. Imagine that, bro. That's so fucking sad and crazy. My testosterone was basically rock bottom because I was waking up, but nothing was up anymore like it should be for a man. Also made my confidence drop, so something was definitely wrong with me. I didn't know what was wrong at the time, but now going back, it turns out that I had insulin resistance. Insulin resistance means that you're close to having type 2 diabetes. So I was close to getting diabetes. And I didn't even know that because I wasn't aware at the time. Insulin resistance is like a warning sign for type 2 diabetes. You get insulin resistance, then pre-diabetes, and then type 2 diabetes. So I was on my way to developing type 2 diabetes at 18 years old. And I had to fix it. And since you clicked on this video, maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you have type 2 diabetes, you know it, or you have insulin resistance, or you just related to all these symptoms that I described because they're really common nowadays, especially among the Americans. Insulin resistance is very, very common. So if you have these symptoms, then it's not something to joke about. It should be an alarm sign for you, this video. But yeah, either way, stay with me here on the video because I'm gonna tell you how I saved myself from diabetes, from type 2 diabetes, how I saved myself from death, basically, because if I continued like that and didn't take actions towards it, I would just develop type 2 diabetes one day and I would just, die from it at a younger age. Let me continue the story now that I told you this, because yeah, something was obviously wrong with my body. I had all the symptoms of insulin resistance. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know what was wrong with my body. And the crazy stuff is that I was already eating good. My diet was pretty clean, I was eating a balanced diet. I was eating carbohydrates, vegetables, fruit, meat, and I would only have cheat meals once a month. I would eat basically clean pretty consistently, so that should help me, right? But it seemed that I was still unhealthy. I was also working out constantly, almost daily, which helped with the symptoms, but it didn't fix the problem. My sleep was also on point, but I was still having health problems. I still had diabetes, basically on my way to diabetes at least. And I started researching, of course, because I couldn't take this anymore. Like, what the fuck, what is wrong with my body? I need to feel good, I'm young, I should be healthy, right? But I had this problem and I started researching, on the internet. And one day this guy popped onto my YouTube, Dr. Eric Berg. He's a doctor that promotes the ketogenic diet, okay? Ketogenic diet, which means to eliminate the carbohydrates from your diet. Like stop eating, bread, pasta, fruit, honey, all these carbohydrates. That's what this doctor recommended because you'll start feeling better, you'll have more energy, mental clarity. I was also dealing with brain fog, by the way. I had this severe brain fog. I just couldn't think clear, and this doctor said that you'll fix all of this, you'll start losing weight too, because I was gaining weight. So at first, yeah, I decided, wait, I should give this a try because it seems like it should fix my problem, But at the same time, I had this limiting belief that, yeah, but if you cut out carbohydrates, you just run on fats instead. Like, that was the point. You cut out the carbs and you run on fats instead. You just eat high fat, like eat more meat, fatty meat, eggs, avocado, nuts, all this kind of stuff, so you get your energy from fats. If I do that, then isn't my workout performance gonna drop? That was the limiting belief that I had because I was working out, like I told you, and I also cared about my athletic performance. So I had this limiting belief for weeks. It just was in my mind until I eventually decided to give this a try. Let's try the keto diet. Okay, day one, I just cut out all the carbs, boom. And what I noticed is the fact that from the first day, I just feel fuller. I don't have problems with binge eating anymore. I don't have this overeating, because after I was eating, after 2 hours, I just had this hunger, extreme hunger from the insulin, from the glycemic spike. That's the reason I had it. And this went away in the first day. I was like, whoa, what the fuck, what is this? This really works. I started getting more and more energy. I started looking better, getting leaner. So it was going pretty well, this keto diet. I was eating salads, high-fat salads, with meat, fatty meat, nuts. Just cut out all the carbs, the oats, the fruit, the pasta, everything that I was eating before, the potatoes also. and it was going very well. And I did this for 1 month. I made very good progress. I did it without cheating for 1 month. I was also, now could say more without eating. I could just have 2 meals a day, no problem. It was very nice. And then the next thing that happened is gonna shock you, because things are going to get even better from this point. Because after I found out about the keto diet, then another day, this guy called Dr. Anthony Shaffe, he popped on my YouTube page again, another video sent by God, I guess. He just popped on my YouTube. He had this video called "Plants Are Trying to Kill You," telling that vegetables are unhealthy, and he was speaking there about this carnivore diet that you only have to eat meat and animal products. At first it seemed so crazy to me, like what, vegetables are unhealthy? Because all my life I was told that vegetables are healthy, that they have nutrients. I was eating like a lot of vegetables, a lot of spinach before this, even on the keto diet and on the balanced diet. So it seemed very crazy to me that, what the fuck, vegetables are unhealthy, you should eat only meat. It seems very crazy. I just didn't give it much attention on this video. And one day another video pops up from the same guy. This time I'm more open-minded, I would say. This seems interesting, the carnivore diet. It's gonna give you even more energy, you'll feel even better. You know, it's like a keto but on steroids. That's how he described it. And I said, wait, why not give it a try too? Like, I also had limiting beliefs at first. I was, having in my head this limiting belief that, yeah, if you eat only meat, how will you get your nutrients? But I decided to try it out anyways and see what happens as an experiment, basically. So day 1, I started eating only meat. I had this meal of ground beef and just eggs, and oh my god, I felt like pretty good afterwards, because I felt like a bit heavy though after my first meal. It was like a bit heavy. I was a bit lethargic, I would say, after the first meal with only meat. But after an hour after eating it, I still remember it, after 1 hour I just gained this mental clarity. Holy shit, I was recording a video back then on my Romanian channel. I was recording a video in the calisthenics park, and holy shit, that video was so good. I could focus so much better. My mental clarity was so good. I was so sharp. I could speak better. It was very interesting. That's the first thing that I noticed on the first day, and it was pretty cool. Then I just kept it up this way, and guess what? Fast forward, after a few months on the carnivore diet, even on keto, it turns out that my insulin resistance was gone. I had no symptoms anymore. I wasn't hungry all the time anymore because I wasn't eating carbs. Besides that, I wasn't, gaining fat anymore. I was getting leaner, looking better, wasn't going to the bathroom that often again. I wasn't as thirsty. It's like everything was fixed for me suddenly. My cravings for sugar disappeared completely because I kept it this way with the carnivore diet for 1 year. I ate no sugar, no processed sugar whatsoever, which was crazy. Like, for me to be the biggest binge eater before, and now I don't eat anything, like I don't overeat, and I don't eat any sugar, that was a crazy progress, that was very cool. My morning wood got back, my libido is high, erections got stronger, everything was better, because this, thing with the morning wood was also caused by the insulin resistance, since when you have your insulin higher, this will affect your circulation. Basically, that was the reason why I had this problem too. So everything got fixed, So I decided to do some blood work too on this diet, and turns out that my insulin was low and my glucose was also very good. So everything was fixed. Now, I need to mention that I didn't have blood work before to see how much my insulin was before, when I wasn't on the carnivore diet or keto diet, but I can bet, of course, my insulin was high because I had all the symptoms of insulin resistance. If you search them on Google, it will say that this is insulin resistance. What I had all the symptoms, so of course I was close to getting type 2 diabetes. And that's basically the story. So I had insulin resistance, almost got type 2 diabetes, and it got fixed after I started the ketogenic diet and the carnivore diet. Only started eating meat and animal products, and suddenly it got fixed. My life got better. I just got full of life again. My life got meaning again. That's how the feeling was. And now it might sound a bit crazy to you, like, what, you eat only meat? That sounds like really unhealthy. No, it can't work. This gotta be bullshit, bro. This guy gotta be lying or something. But the reality here is that this diet is scientifically supported. It is scientifically proven that a ketogenic or a carnivore diet will reverse type 2 diabetes. It is proven, no doubt whatsoever. Nobody can disprove this, because we have proof. I'm gonna show you studies here. As you can see, there are studies that say this. So of course it worked on me, and not only on me, but you'll see a lot of case studies. So that's why, because it's scientifically proven, it works. So right now, if you're dealing with diabetes and all the symptoms of insulin resistance, you feel bad, then just turn your brain off, just try this out, and you'll thank me, bro. You'll thank me so much after this. If you just try this out, be open-minded, it will save your life, okay? Because what you gotta lose at this point? You try it out for a few days, a few weeks, and you see that it doesn't work, you don't get better, okay, you just go back to eating normally, maybe try something again. You don't lose anything, but I doubt that this will happen, because like I told you, scientifically proven, you will cure diabetes if you do this. And the explanation for this is from the fact that when you eat carbohydrates being, like I told you, pasta, grains, also fruit, sugar in general, processed sugar including that, you will spike your blood sugar. When your blood sugar is high, then your insulin being the hormone that regulates blood sugar and also is responsible for fat gains and other functions in the body, your insulin will need to kick in so it can regulate the blood sugar, because it is too high and the insulin will kick in to lower the blood sugar so it's at a normal level again, because if it's too high, elevated for too long, you will die. So that's why if this keeps happening over and over again, you spike your blood sugar over and over again with carbohydrates on a high carbohydrate diet like most people eat nowadays with very high carbs, instead of fats, then you'll get insulin resistance at some point, because your cells will become less responsive to insulin. You'll get insulin resistance. That's how it happens. And by you going on a ketogenic diet, eliminating carbs and eating high fat, basically eating more fats like fatty meat, eggs, butter, all this kind of stuff, then you won't have blood sugar spikes anymore. So your insulin will be stable. You won't get insulin resistance symptoms anymore, because that's why you get them in the first place, because you spike your blood sugar with carbs and your insulin is trash. That's why. So eating high fat will keep you satiated, it will feed your body better, you have more energy, your mood will be better, you'll have a better mental clarity, all these kind of benefits. That's why it works, basically, because humans are not meant to eat a lot of carbs. It is unnatural, of course. It's not like carbohydrates just grow in nature every time, every season. No, only in specific areas. But even then, it's kind of, they're not accessible every day, maybe. But for example, if the winter comes, you won't eat carbohydrates. Of course, that humans are mostly meant to be in a ketogenic state, running on fat, because animals are accessible anytime, any season. So that's why it works. That's why it's natural, of course. That's why you get rid of health problems, and this problem in this case, type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance, when you eat this way. Now in present, I'm even on a raw meat based diet. I eat raw meat, raw eggs, raw organs, raw butter. I even level up, and I see that this even got me better results. I look even better, I feel even better, more energy, better mood, even better mental clarity. It's like the next level. But even if you try a cooked animal-based diet, only meat, if you have diabetes, just try only meat and animal products, organs, meat, eggs, butter, all this kind of stuff. Just try it for a few months, and after some point you can also add fruits that are in season and honey. You can do that, but just try it out only meat and animal products at first, and you will be good. If you have type 1 diabetes, then it's gonna be a different measure here. This is for type 2 diabetes, but for type 1 it's gonna be different steps to take for this. But yeah, that was kind of it. So if you want to cure diabetes, your type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance, if you could relate to the symptoms that I told you about that I had before, then just start eating this way. It will fix the problem, okay? But now if you want to speedrun your results, you really are serious about getting healthy so you can feel good, have more energy, look better, also boost your libido, your mood, I want to tell you that I have this Cave-In Academy where I help you the most. In this academy I help you 10 times more than I help you here with my content. So if you want to just achieve superhuman health in 90 days, get rid of your health problems, just click the second link in the description and you'll get my private support there. You'll get coaching calls from me, courses, my support 24/7. Basically I'll help you achieve superhuman health in 90 days. I'll make sure of that. If you want to cure diabetes, just go there, because I'm gonna help you the most if you want extra help for that. So yeah, this was it with the video. Hope you found this helpful and life-changing, in case you had the similar symptoms that I also dealt with, or you had type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, whatever. Then I hope this video served your purpose and you're gonna take action from this, because I want you to be healthy, bro. You deserve to be healthy. You just gotta fix your lifestyle and you're gonna be good, okay? I believe in you, bro. Just take care and I wish you all the best. Bye bye.